Well, I had to pull over and take me a little morning stop after eating some McDonald's this morning, but we're about halfway between Bobcat and a Cannon Bridge landing. It's going pretty smooth. Had some tight spots in a couple places, but hadn't had to get out and pull over or anything. I did jump one log, but it wasn't out the water. It was just barely cresting underneath the water. Water is high. That's probably helping me here. Not have to jump over and pull over stuff, because I feel like if the water was a little bit lower, I might have a more of a jumping and pulling through issue. But I'm starting here, like I said, on the South Edisto River. That's where I live. I live near the Springfield Bridge, about 5 minutes up from it. When I was 18 and graduated high school, my daddy and I paddled from the Springfield Bridge all the way to Edisto Beach. My grandpa said he had made that trip many times in the John boat, and I've never made it in the John boat. So part of me wanting to make it in the John boat is because he's done it. But I figured intermediately, I need to do some of the easier stretches in the John boat, get used to John boat camping before I try to do that big trek from Springfield. Because around the Springfield area, you have a lot of log jumps between Springfield, Hog Pen Landing, and that kind of area. And I might even wind up having to put like a winch on the front of the boat and bringing a chainsaw if I was to do that particular area. It took us a week to paddle it in kayaks. Summer of 2008. Water was very low, and that was probably part of it. I've heard people say that they've done it and done it quicker. I call bullshit. Took us a week. But you get down here in the more open sections, like I said, this is Bamberg and below. Running's not bad. You're not going to be able to run it full out, but I mean, making a pretty good little clip here. So figured I'd give you another update, talk a little bit. I'm gonna show you some river footage. That's what I'm talking about. If you hear my motor bunching and crunching, it's them submerged logs eating them up. That's why you can't run it too heavy and fast. You can see all the junk in the front of the boat too, weighs me down a little bit. Just take it nice and easy most of the time though. Try and enjoy a little bit of the scenery. The river definitely changes at different stages. It goes from swampy to a little more open, and like I said, some areas it's winding and it splits into several different channels, and you just got to pick one and hope for the best. And some areas it looks like a creek, and then like I said, other areas it's wide and flat. Down around Givens it really flattens out and almost turns lake-like for a little while before it makes its turn back down to the ocean. So it's a very scenic river, more so than what the Savannah and everything is. A lot of people do Savannah river trips. This one's much more scenic, much more enjoyable. Don't see too many houses on this river, but there are some. So I've passed some very nice ones here in the last little bit. I just wanted to show you kind of what I was looking at here. Like I said, it's fairly broad here. Springfield is much narrower than this. So like I said, I'm just butting on down. I ain't in no hurry. Got all day and really nowhere to get to. Get to where I get to. I am going to do some fishing at some point. I've seen some pretty good looking spots, but it's so flooded that I hadn't really made a choice to fish yet. I don't usually do too good when the water's high. I'm more of a low water fisherman that concentrates the fish. Nice so far today. It's only 9 o'clock in the morning. It's going to get hot. And when it gets hot, I'm probably going to pull over and hide underneath some of these trees or whatever, maybe do some fishing. But it's better than farming, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm supposed to be out there hoeing tomato plants right now, picking squash and zucchini and cucumbers and maybe some tomatoes and watermelons like I've been doing all summer. I think I deserve a break. So anyways, if I see something interesting, I'll bring y'all back around. Otherwise, I'm going to do another one of these when I get to the Cannon Bridge landing. Y'all take care. I'll see you here in a bit.